David, CEO from Surfe.
Hi, Bruna. Nice to see you again. It's now every month we see each other, so even if it's the holiday season at the moment,
Exactly.
so very, very happy and was much looking forward to this webinar today. Yeah.
Same. I think you, me, and everyone here, we want to welcome you all. We always like to start asking where you are watching. If you want to let us know here on the chat tab, because we are curious like that. And while you say, I just want to let you know that the webinar is being recorded, okay, from the very beginning until the end. At the end of the webinar, you will get the recording on your email, okay? So you don't need to worry about looking for it. It will be sent to your email, okay? Also, as you can see on the bottom right, we have a chat tab and a questions tab. If you have any questions during the webinar about what David will be presenting, please feel free to use the questions tab. Okay, we'll have a Q&A at the end. And if there's any missing question, any answers, actually, because if you do have a lot of questions, it's okay. We will be sharing a link to our webpage, okay, with all the answers. Okay, so you don't need to worry about any question being unanswered. They will be answered. Okay. We also have here Henry from Surfe helping us out here on the chat tab and questions tab. And I was just checking here. We have people from all over the world.
It's crazy. I can't even read that fast because it's like just coming in. We have also even people from Paris. I mean, they're now everywhere. Also during the holiday season, we like to travel now, and super cool. Even from the US, Canada, I see crazy.
So, I have Philippines and Brazil here. We have people from Portugal as well. So, hola. I'm Portuguese, by the way. So that's why I mentioned that. Yeah. It's so nice because there's a lot of people here joining.
Yeah. And
wow.
Germans as well. So, hi, Grüße. Ich bin Deutsch, but I live in Paris. Naja.
Oh, so nice. Finland as well.
Cool.
I'm trying to read silence.
Yeah, I think we could spend now the 1 hour
Yeah.
just in the cities.
As well. So nice. I always like to know, just because like we have the time zones and everything. So sometimes it's really late and people still join, or it's really early and people still join. So it is really, really nice. So just to tell you again, if you join a little bit later, as you see, the chat is a rundown chat. Okay. So if you do some questions there, we might lose them. So please, any questions related to what David will be presenting, please use the questions tab on the bottom right. Okay. And so let's go ahead and start with the presentation. We have a full agenda for today. So let's see here our agenda. So we have the welcome and the recap. Of course, we have a little slide about Pipedrive, and then building an effective outreach strategy, how to automate and personalize with sequences, structuring a multi-touch outreach sequence, and then we have a demo. Okay, sync, Surfe and Pipedrive for sequences, and of course, then we'll have the Q&A. So let's start with the first slide, which is Pipedrive, my segment here. As you see, Pipedrive was founded in 2010 by 5 Estonians, so it's a European company. Okay, we are a unicorn since 2020. As you see, we have a lot of employees, more than 50 nationalities, 10 offices in 8 different countries, and also you can plug and play, simple and effective solution. We have some prices here, and of course, we sync with Surfe. So now I'm passing the mic to David. And yeah, let's start.
So pleasure to see everyone who's newly joining the webinar, and everyone who already follows us since I think last year we were running these webinars, and now since this year we have it on a monthly basis. I'm David, CEO of Surfe. So Surfe is a sales intelligence tool. We are connected with Pipedrive, I think since around 4 years now. So you can find us in the marketplace. And we are connected, or started to connect LinkedIn with Pipedrive. Now we have our own platform where you can search for accounts, contacts, enrich them. So find their emails or mobile phone numbers. We actually use 20 different sources for that. So if you have a very eclectic search or very niche industry, we hopefully can find that as well. And we have a 2 months for free offer together with the partnership with Pipedrive. I think Dina is going to display that here in the corner. And yeah, the Pipedrive connection and the Pipedrive partnership, I think, has now more than 10,000 users. So we crossed 10,000 users last month, which is crazy for us because we have 40,000 users in total. So this partnership is quite big for us as a startup, as we are around since 5 years now. And yeah, as mentioned at the beginning, I'm German, but we are Paris-based. And I'm joining also today from Paris. I saw a few guys, also Station F, from Paris are here and joining this webinar. So yeah, once again, hi, and yeah, let's dive in what we're going to show you today. But before, we want to actually know from you, because we have a few polls during the webinar. When we talk about outreach, and I think Dina will show up this poll now, we want to know from you, what's your biggest challenge currently with outreach? So when it comes to outbounding, is it about like writing personalized messages at scale, finding accurate contact data? So yeah, did we just have a little temperature check and see where we are? So we see getting replies and engagement is leading at the moment. That's also for us always the most difficult and important one. Contact info, yes, you can't get replies if you don't have the right contact info, right? So yeah, it goes pretty much in hand what we're going to show you today, because we are showing you first how you can find the contacts, how you can enrich the contacts, and how you then can put them into a sequence. So sequence is different steps that can increase the reply rate, because you use LinkedIn, you use email, you use cold calling. Before we go into, we want to share with you the very, very common mistakes we see nowadays. Every one of us, I think, whether you're a decision maker or not, we have a lot of noise in our email inbox. On average, we get 128 sales touch points a day, which is crazy. And there's too much noise. We can easily ignore emails, especially as we see they are written in a very robotic behavior. Also, what I see is pitches about the product, but actually not about the problem your prospect may face. And then you come off as very salesy and pitchy. So yeah, these are the three biggest mistakes I see in outreach. And I think if you have just more personalization in your outreach, and you can also have personalization at scale, it really improves your reply rate. So that starts with you're talking people to people. That starts with your personal brand on LinkedIn. We have a webinar about this, how you start with your LinkedIn profile, who you should connect with, what should you share. You should become also a problem expert, not a product expert, meaning you should consume the stuff your prospects are consuming. You should know about the industry. You should share that on LinkedIn as well. And you need to invest time in the outreach. So instead of sharing, hey, our product helps you to do A, B, C, just think about, okay, how can our product help with the problem you are having, and then address the problem. For instance, I don't know, we see in industrial companies, there's high energy prices, for instance, and maybe you have a solution that can help you maintain a good energy price or whatsoever, right? It's just an example, but become a problem expert and invest time into your outreach. Good, but we want to talk now about how you can automate and personalize with sequences. So sequences are always just different steps. A sequence doesn't necessarily needs to be automated, can be also manual, and you can test a sequence manually by going through the different steps. So yeah, we are having a second poll here, and we want to know actually from you, what's your or how do you currently handle your outbound outreach? Do you automate it? Do you automate and personalize it already? Do you personalize just everything? So that means you work manually, or you don't know yet and you haven't really found a system. Yeah, so that we just check. Okay, everyone is on the manual side, which is good. Before you also, as I said, have a sequence and automate it. Automation is always the end step. So the first steps are the different steps making sense, and I need to test that manually. So it's good that you already, or that you only, most of the people do personalized, and then we can now show you how you can even automate these different steps. Good, and here's a few reasons why we need a sequence. We need different steps because it shows that when we use multiple channels, email, phone, social media, we see 50% higher response rates. We see often we get to a meeting booked after the 6th touch point. So just one touch point and sending one email often doesn't lead to a booked meeting. So you need to have this consistency. And the sequences help us also get more data-driven insights. So you can test with different messages, you can see what messages are working, what not, and then you can improve your system. And yeah, we need that data to understand how can we get better and how can we increase the response rates. Good. Let's go to the next poll where we ask you what is actually the hardest part about structuring a multi-touch outbound sequence. So is it about knowing what to say, choosing the right order? Maybe it's tool. I mean, we are showing Surfe and Pipedrive, but you can connect 10 plus different tools and they all need to talk with each other. Or is it spending hours on your outreach? So, and here most of the people say, yeah, don't spend hours on your outreach and keeping it personal. Yeah, that's the hardest part because we want to have faster outreach, but still relevant outreach, which needs to be personal. So I thought that most of the people probably say that. And then it's again, knowing what to say at each step, right? Because if we repeat ourselves, it doesn't land probably. Good. So after we had a few slides, we now want to really show you product because I think that's why most of the people are here, how you can use Pipedrive sequences. So we're going to show you together with Pipedrive and the new launch of Pulse, how you can now run sequences. And we show you together with Surfe how to find the contacts, enrich it, and then pull them into the sequence. So just a quick reminder about our last webinar, which was exactly about how to find your ICP and how to build a list with Surfe. So that's Surfe app. And yeah, you will share, I think Henry will share the link to our last webinar. So if you just want to digest again, or if you haven't watched it, please watch it. There you can, at scale, build a list of contacts, companies, either with Surfe app or with Sales Navigator. And we show you how you sync that then easily with Pipedrive. So let me start with that and share my screen. So, whoops. You should now see Surfe app. And to start with Surfe app, it's probably most of the people know maybe our extension. So it's working on LinkedIn and you can add one by one a contact and find their contact details. Surfe app, you can do that at scale. So for instance, either you say, I don't know what my ICP is, and I just want to find similar companies as Revolut, for instance, the fintech company. And then you can go into our filtered search. We analyze the company Revolut, how many employees, where are they active, what's the industry they're working in. And then we search now through 20 different databases to find similar companies as Revolut. And you can see here now we have N26, Monzo, so for all the Germans and the British people, you're probably familiar with them. And you get a nice list of accounts with some more firmographic information about the company, technologies they use, revenue, and so forth and so on. And then you can go now, okay, that's cool. I want to find the people in these companies. And I want to find all the different, let's say, CMOs. Then you go into our filtered search. You can now type in CMO, and then you get an actionable list of these lookalike companies. So here you see all these different companies, Wireberry, Intel, whatsoever, and always the chief marketing officer as a persona. What I want to do now is I want to maybe add them first to a list and then to Pipedrive. So for instance, I can add them now here to a list, or I can directly say enrich. Let's just create a new list. I don't know, Pipedrive sequence outreach. Creating that new list now. And then you see, okay, list got created here in Surfe app. And what I can do now is I can select them all, and I can find all their emails and mobile phone numbers. What we do here is the people who know our extension know that we enrich the data again by 20 plus different providers. So we actually first pre-enrich and find their LinkedIn profiles, because then the enrichment is way more accurate. And then we go for the email and mobile enrichment. So this runs now a bit of time, and then you will see the enrichment rate is actually quite high. As you can see here, it started already. We found the email and we found the mobile phone number here from Annabella, and then it just continues for the rest of the list. To speed up a bit, because as I was showing this already in the last webinar, let's just use a list I already created. So let's do this one. I enriched it here. You see here again the principle. We run through all these different providers to really have a very high accuracy of email and phone numbers. So as you can see here, that was from our last webinar, and I've enriched them all, and we have a quite high accuracy on email and phone numbers. I've synced them already to Pipedrive as well. So you can select them all and then add sync to Pipedrive, and you can add them as a contact or as a lead. So to show you the full sequence flow, I would suggest you to add them as leads, because once we added them as leads in Pipedrive, we can convert them to deals. So I added them already here in my Pipedrive leads inbox. As you can see here, all the different information you saw on the list in Surfe app before has been added to Pipedrive. I can then now select all these leads and convert them to deals. And then I can say, okay, yeah, it's a qualified deal. This step is super important, because in Pipedrive at the moment, as least as I know, it's only possible to add from deals. So you see now here, we've created a deal for each lead to add them to our sequence. So I can add them now here and select my sequence. So I've created a sequence. I called it Engage with Pipedrive Users Across Channels. And then I can see here, that's the sequence, and I can add them now from here. And then you land in Pulse. That's the new Pipedrive feature or launch. And you can see here, these 15 deals have been added to the sequence. And now I want to show you how you build a very strong sequence with a lot of different steps. And herefore we go back, to our presentation. And I will pull this up. So I hope this was now a lot to consume. So that's when I was too fast. Luckily, we have the recording, and then you can go step by step how I did the things. But yeah, I've showed you how to build a list, how to build a list from a lookalike company. I will show you also later, if you, for instance, don't know your ICP, we have a very new feature for you, which is automatically, where is it here? Which is automatically kind of identifying your ICP in Surfe app based on your CRM. Or you can just say, okay, my ICP is this, and that. So based on filters, and then you get a list of your ideal customers. And then you can start from here, and then you get some recommendations, and then you see, okay, I should contact with these people. And then you can build your list from here. However, I think we are going to deep dive into that section, into a webinar, a later webinar. I want to show you now, as I said, how to build a super strong sequence. So for us, 24 steps in a sequence, I know it's a lot, but it increases your chances to get replies. So you see here, day one, for instance, we often start with a cold call. So you saw now the list we've enriched. We get the mobile phone numbers thanks to Surfe, and we just pick up a cold call. Then we send up a connection request on LinkedIn. Also, don't send a message in a connection request because it gets you to higher acceptance rates. And then we send the first email. Why do we do 3 things in one day? Because it actually increases our replay rate by 25%. So these are the different steps. and I'm going to show you why they are relevant in Pipedrive now. So for instance, you see the few different steps like voice note, because it increases your chance to get a reply again. A video, for instance, which you like to use as well. So let's switch here. Oops. And here we go. So, and here I can edit the sequence, and here you then can see the different steps. I'm pretty sure we can give you all of our templates after the webinar and can share it with you. For instance, we have cold calling templates, we have connection request templates, we have email templates for problem emails, for value add emails, but often we start cold call should be super simple. Hey, can I have 30 seconds of your time? If you would prefer to hang up now, it's your call. So very, very simple. And we give you a lot of examples in the sequence for all the different steps. So for instance, problem email, you see here, I used the Pipedrive templates for showing, okay, I think you're dealing with ABC as a problem currently. Then you have voice note templates, for instance, as well. We put a step like comment on a post. We have then another email on day 5 on a problem email. Day 7, we use video notes, for instance. You can use Vidyard, send Spark on this, or you can create also meme you send. Yeah, so different steps, and we have for each of the steps templates, and we're going to show you and share with them with you. But yeah, how you can also then, for instance, let's maybe pick one step, which is here, the follow-up on LinkedIn. Again, what's super cool with Surfe is you can automate the stuff. So we can use also here in LinkedIn messages a template. Often what I use here, I can see all my different templates. Oops, let me share this one. So this is Surfe again, Pipedrive LinkedIn first message template. You see here, I use different placeholders, first name, position, company name. I click, and then you see I've automated, half automated that step, and you now have this template and can send this message to Marta. Yes, and then you will find many more other templates. As I said, it should kind of have minimum, I would say, 10 different steps, your sequence to really be successful. We use 24, so you can start with 10, and you can start also with our template with 24, but you see way higher connection and reply rates. Good. I think this was a lot to consume now. I think we should go, because we did that the last time as well, into questions, because I showed all the things quite quickly, and I know there's so many questions to repeat things and show it again. So yeah, maybe let's go into that.
Yeah, there is lots of questions. Just trying to check, trying to find them. For example,
yeah.
Sorry, I think this one might be nice. So, like, what would the sequence look like if my typical audience are not very active on LinkedIn? This might happen.
Yeah, I mean, you then just cut out the LinkedIn steps. So if we go back to our slide here, you see that we have cold call and problem email as one, and LinkedIn. So if they're not on LinkedIn, you just cut it out and you just continue with cold calls, emails. So basically go on channels where your prospects are. Yeah, that's something what you could do.
And going on with that slide as well, we have this question from Chris. Isn't cold call, connecting requests, and mailing one day a bit too much? Sounds a bit spam in the perspective of prospective lead. Yeah,
I wouldn't say so, because as I kind of attached here, we found out on a lot of different data. So actually not we, there was actually a study about it. If you have a triple touch on day 1, it really increases your response rates by 25%. So you tried that your prospect sees you everywhere on the different channels, and you need to build up different messages for each channel. So don't send the same message to each channel, right? So that's why triple touch is important. If you got them already on a cold call, of course, you don't need to send them an email, for instance, or the email prepared. You can then just send them an email with your meeting booked or Calendly, for instance, and then you can step over. But if you have all these three, then it increases your chance to get a reply. Yeah.
So we have one from Francis as well. So how do you increase responses when offering a service that is typically viewed as a nice to have?
Yeah, as I said, it's super important to have a value add email. So maybe I go into our value add email. You need to find some data for your solution, or you need to find a case study. So when we go into our sequence again, oops, can you see it?
Merging the...
No, oh yeah, here. So if you go into our sequence again, and we go into added value email, you see here, I just shared a case study with a company that's probably familiar to my prospect. And I said, hey, we have been able to cut the CRM admin in half and enriched 80% of their LinkedIn leads automatically in Pipedrive. So by this value add email, it gives something extra, it gives data. So if you have a service that is nice to have, but you have maybe some data to back that, or a case study, use this, because it may increase your reply rate. Yeah, so it's always finding the right pitch. As I said, don't pitch the product too much, become a problem expert, and then use value-added emails, first a problem email and then a value-added email, how you actually solve this problem for them. And I think when you have that pitch like that, it can help to boost the reply rate. Yeah.
Let's see. There's so many questions. I'm just trying to find the ones that we didn't answer yet. We have one, for example, can I send a connect request with one click from Pipedrive, or look up each one on LinkedIn and then send a connect request?
Yeah, so I think that's on Pipedrive side at the moment. Pipedrive is not able to automate that. So you can put a step so that you don't forget to send a connection request, but you can't automate it yet. So with Surfe, when you enrich the profile, you always have the LinkedIn profile as I showed it to you. So just one click on the profile link and then another click on connect, and then it should be fine. As I said, the sequence, some steps you can automate. So for instance, the email sending, right? You can't automate the connection request. So yeah, if there's other tools where you could do that technically. So I think there's tools like Phantom Buster, but here you risk always that your LinkedIn account gets banned. So when you start with sequences, I wouldn't recommend to use a tool for automating that LinkedIn part.
I don't know if there's any answer that you want to.
Yeah, I thought, for instance, so maybe I jumped over it too quickly. Where is the data coming from in Surfe? So the email and phone numbers. As I said, oops. As I said, we use different providers, so we use up to 20 providers. I showed it kind of by hovering in the Surfe app, and you saw a lot of different providers. So we use 20 providers because different providers are good for different countries, hence why we partner with them. So if you search for someone in Brazil, if you search someone for the US, a provider may give you different results. And we always partner with the best in different countries, and then we aggregate that for you so that you only need to use Surfe, and then you find the contact data for your prospect. Yeah.
Let me just.
Yeah.
So I'm taking this question here from Kim. Which Pipedrive version is required for this? If you are talking about the sequence feature, we in Pipedrive, we currently changed plans. We did a revamp on our plans. Okay, so the sequence feature is available on growth and higher plans. Okay, so if you are on Lit, which was the old essential, you will not be able to use the sequences. Okay, so. There's also, we have this question twice. Is there a difference between a sequence and an automation? There is. Sequence is quite a new feature here in Pipedrive. And we have an article about this, okay? But sequence are like a step-by-step workflows, made up emails and follow-up tasks, okay? They are more focused on nurture leads over time, okay? It's more tailored way, hands-on. Okay, while automations are broader, okay, they don't focus only on the leads or deals. You can streamline a lot of tasks, the repetitive tasks that you have every single day. Okay, but I will share the link for the article on the knowledge base, okay, on the chat tab. So if you want to take a look and understand a little bit more of the difference, I will share the link there.
Yeah. In last Pipedrive webinar, we showed how to build automations. So for instance, you can automate when you add a list, let's say with Surfe, and then you can have the source Surfe, you can automate a next action, meaning please add a new kind of action for me, meaning sending an email, reaching out, or whatsoever. So these are automations you can do. And sequence is then really, you can put these contacts into an outreach sequence. So it's different than an automation, which may automate tasks in Pipedrive, but sequences are actions for outreach. Yeah. There's also another question. Since you don't have permissions and none of the contacts have opted in, how does this automated sequencing strategy meet GDPR compliancy? Yes. So first of all, we get the data from different providers. You can toggle a full GDPR compliant. So meaning we only source data from providers who are fully GDPR compliant. In the US, you sometimes don't care. But in Germany, for instance, you really do care. So you need to have, for instance, an opt-in. You need to send on LinkedIn a connection request because LinkedIn is a gray zone. And then once it got accepted, you can send a follow-up email, for instance. So that's why it's important for GDPR strict countries to have these different steps in your sequence. Because otherwise you may be in a gray area of GDPR. So hence, when you're in Germany and you want to be on the super safe side, let's first connect on LinkedIn. Once the connection happened, then you can send out an email because there's this mutual B2B business interest. Yeah.
We have a question here from Chris. Do you recommend including images or a picture, like a product, in the body of the email so it increases the chance of the receiver replying to my message?
Definitely. As I said at the beginning, we are selling human to human. So it's always nice to see, okay, at the end of an email, there's a picture of a person and maybe a LinkedIn profile. So that you can identify the person on LinkedIn and see what is the person doing, etc. What's the experience? And there you need to have a good LinkedIn profile in the first place. As said, we have a webinar where you can check how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. But that's super important for me. So all these little steps, I included, for instance, also step voice note is very personal. I included a step video note is very personal. All the things where you can show your identity, either voice or either video, so your face, increases the chances to get more replies. As I said, voice note, I think ×4, video as well. If you're even a bit humorous about it, people like to do business and mix business with humor. It even increases your chances of getting a reply more. I think I also shared a stat, 77% actually, which is crazy. Yeah.
Good suggestions there. LinkedIn don't like automation tools. We get them every now and then. How does Surfe cope with it?
As I showed you actually just message templates on LinkedIn. So we don't do any automation on LinkedIn. What we do is if you see a contact, you can find the contact details with Surfe. I showed the same in Surfe app, but just in bulk. So we don't send messages automated. We don't send connection requests automated. So yeah, that's why we comply with LinkedIn. And that's super important, because otherwise you risk your account of getting banned. Exactly. Yeah.
Someone is asking here if WhatsApp is a good way for communicating.
I think it depends on the country. I know that in Latin, for instance, WhatsApp is used very commonly as a business. In Europe, it comes more and more now, but I would say still less. So if you really connected with the person in person and you got their phone number, then you can send them a WhatsApp message. Otherwise, I think more for Latin. Yeah.
Yeah, they do use WhatsApp a lot.
And it depends also on the industry. Some industries, yes. Some rather not. Yeah.
Okay, so this one, speaking of the sequences, I may be confused. Is a sequence a prompt for tasks that I then have to complete? For example, manually choosing a template, email, and hitting the send button, or does a sequence automatically send the designated email for me to the contacts?
Yes, so and so. So some of the steps, as I was showing here, are automated. So for instance, the email, you can create a template here, which is then automated. A cold call, of course, is for you a task. Okay, I need to perform first a cold call, and then the connection request. So these are things to tick off, and then automatically an email gets sent. Then I need to tick off the next task, cold call, and then automatically, if you use an automation, LinkedIn message gets sent. Otherwise, do that manually. So what you can automate in Pipedrive so far is the emails. And the rest is still a manual step. But Pipedrive gives you, with a new pulse, an overview of your follow-ups. So you see here in an overview of pulse, okay, here in sequence step 1 out of 10, I need to perform the cold call for this deal. For this deal, of course, I just added them. They're all in sequence step number 1. But you see the overview, and you can tick off the different tasks, and then it gets to the next step of the sequence. And this may be automated if it's an email, or maybe not automated if it's, as said, a LinkedIn connection request, for instance. So it's so and so. It creates a good overview of tasks and kicks off some automations with emails.
Nice. Okay. Do sequences space out emails sent? We tend to land in junk folders when using the automations feature if all emails sent have the same subjects.
So yeah, you need to warm up your email account. I think Pipedrive doesn't offer that yet. I think Pipedrive also has a limit of sending 100 emails per day. So they have that limit for you to not go over and then not land in spam. However, if you don't write a lot of emails per day, there's different kind of tools where you can warm up your accounts. I think LambWarm, for instance, is one of those, to not land in spam. And there's also tools what you need to look at to not land in spam, what you need to optimize with your email domain. Yeah.
Great. I actually don't know this answer, so I don't know if you know if there's a limit of if-else variants that can be combined in a sequence. Because in automations, yes, there's a limit according to the plan that you have, like mentioned. But on the sequences, I don't know, to be honest.
So there is actually a limit at the moment in sequences, up to 10 or 12 steps at the moment. So I'm hoping Pipedrive increases that at one point. But that's the current limit I think you have. Then there's the limit on the emails per day you can send, which I guess are 100, at least what I saw. So yeah, these are, I think, the current ones I'm aware of.
Nice. Let's see the next one. Because I'm doing the questions by upvotes, but every time I share one question and then close it, it goes to the beginning, so I have to scroll. That's why it takes me a little bit of time to get to the questions. Let me just find the next upvote because there's a lot of ones that have been answered. We have here from Braden. I've been using Surf for 6 months. I am always on the fence to leave. The price is too high. Make the integration with LinkedIn and Pipedrive better. Trying to create a CRM or lead generator separately seems redundant since this is Pipedrive. Are there plans to change focus?
So yeah, I think what could be possible in the future is because we have actually our data available also via API, is either you can already connect our API to Pipedrive and have everything in Pipedrive on the enrichment side, so you don't need to use technically our user interface to find and enrich the contacts. Maybe our partnership with Pipedrive at one point offers that and goes into that API direction to just stay in the link in the Pipedrive interface. But yeah, technically it's possible. And I know that, yes, this would cut a few back and forth, even though at the moment, as you saw, I think I was done in 5 minutes to create an actionable list in Surfe, sync, enrich it with one click, sync it with another click in Pipedrive, and then add them from leads to deals, convert them from leads to deals, and then add them into a sequence. So 5 steps, but imagine how many steps you would have done before. So first of all, how do you find the contacts? Okay, you can use Sales Nav. Sales Nav, when we talk about price, costs you 150 euros per month. Sales Nav has no enrichment. So normally you need to pay for enrichment tools. Surfe comes with 15 different enrichment tools. So meaning you cut all the cost for all these different enrichment tools by just using Surfe. Then it syncs natively with your Pipedrive, and then it's about Pipedrive and the different plans. But we've built Surfe on a price point and on features we have to streamline a lot of things already. As I said, all these different tools, all these different features. And of course, you can streamline even more. You can have everything in Pipedrive, hopefully at one point. But at the moment, it's not possible, and that's the way how you can do it for now. Yeah.
And we have a message here from Joan Marx saying Surfe pricing is out better. Some other providers.
Exactly. I would say if you look at our prices, you get 15 different tools for a starting point of 29 euros. I think that's a very good deal, because otherwise, imagine you need to get for the people who know the tools, ZoomInfo, Apollo, Cognism, and all these individually, stack them up, meaning you need to build a smart cascade to know, okay, I need to have a contact in Brazil now. What's the best tool? Okay, I need to go for tool A. No, tool A doesn't find it. I need to go to tool B, and so forth and so on. So sometimes the things look super simple, but we intend to make them so simple for you that you.
Oops, I think we lost David here. I think everyone can hear me still, or maybe it was me. Or it was David. Okay, it was David. Okay, I was just checking if it was me or if it was David. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Let's see. No, I didn't. I swear I didn't pause, David. Okay, so it was.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. David, are you back? Okay, you're back. Okay.
I'm back.
I thought it was me, actually. I just ask everyone because, like, sometimes it might happen to my side. So.
Yeah, okay. Or maybe Paris internet connection.
Okay. And people are saying you actually froze in a very cool pose. So
nice. Okay. Then I'm happy.
Let's see the next question. I'm just scrolling here. Okay. When you do a lot of outreach from your domain in Pipedrive, how do you avoid spam filtering and Google email gods marking your domain as spam? Yeah. Do you want me? I don't know. So where
there's there's different tools.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I think the internet in Paris is having some issues. Okay, I think you're back. Just okay. Let's see if David returns. I think it was mentioning there are some tools to avoid this. Uh, but let me just tell you, like on Pipedrive side, our email sync works like a
Yeah,
mirror from your email provider. Okay, so the limits that you have on
I'm
your
back.
email
Yeah,
provider, David.
I don't know. Maybe we have an outage in Paris, but it should be fine. So as uh
Okay, I think you're back or not. Sorry, everyone. Uh,
I can hear you guys. Wait.
I think might be an outage there in Paris. Okay, so David lost the connection. But I think David was about to give you some tools, but maybe he'll join later. But don't worry, you'll get the answers of the questions on a follow-up email, okay? But David, are you back?
I guess so. I don't know.
Okay.
Sometimes it's cutting off. Seems to be now. But yeah, the question was what tools you can use. So
Mhm.
yeah, there's different tools. Lemwarm, for instance, is one of the companies you can use to warm up your email domain. And yeah, I think if you Google Lemwarm, but Lemwarm is one of them.
Okay.
I think it's in there.
David, can you please write the tool on chat on the chat just because it's easier for us to understand. Uh, but so there's this tool, but like to give a little context on Pipedrive, it works like a mirror from your email provider. Okay, so if you have limits, the same limits that you have on your email, being Gmail, Hotmail, or all the others, are the same limits you're gonna have on Pipedrive. Okay, so the email sync doesn't work like a marketing tool. It looks like to send emails. So if you do send mass emails from Pipedrive, it will have the same limits that you have on your provider. Okay, so in this case, it is better to use a tool. Okay, just like David mentioned. Let me just see. Um, let's see if David can put the. I think we lost David. Yeah, but regarding the tool, let's see if we find um, David.
Yeah, I'm back. So sorry, I think it's
Yeah,
orange. I don't know if
yeah.
I wouldn't. Orange may
Maybe
have some problems. I switched now to
don't
another
worry.
connection.
I'm just going to ask you to write the name of the tool that you just mentioned on the chat tab because it was a little
Yeah,
bit glitchy. So this way, it is better to have it
yeah.
written
So
there.
it's a French tool which is called Lemwarm.
Hmm. Okay,
Lemwarm.com.
perfect. So there it is. Maybe with the outage that you're having with internet, maybe it is better to finish the webinar. It's only 10
Yeah,
minutes
I think
here.
it's fine now from my side because I switched to my mobile connection, so it seems to be good.
Okay. Okay, so we still have 10 minutes. So the next upvote questions, it is, what is the difference between current pipe drive automation and sequence with Surf? Mentioned this already, okay, and I also shared the article about it, but basically automations, you can handle a wider variety of tasks, okay, using that automatically, while the sequence focus more on structured communication, okay, ideal for sales process and timing prioritization, okay, but um, I will share the link on our chat tab. Let me just go again and share the article about it. Okay. Also, if you want to learn more about sequence tool, it's a Pipedrive tool. You also always have our knowledge base. Okay, so please feel free to check the articles there. So next upvote question. Okay, these are answers. We have this again. What if our target audience is usually not on LinkedIn?
Yes. So depends on in what sense you mean it? Either for finding the contacts. So if they're not on LinkedIn, I know, because they are doctors, for instance, then you need to find their account or contact information somewhere else. That's why I also was showing Surf app, because as we source from 15, 20 different tools, LinkedIn is just one of them. So the LinkedIn data is just one of them we source data from, and then we have plenty more. So for every eclectic customer base or niche customer base, if we don't find the data, then it's probably pretty difficult to find. So that's the first thing. The second thing is about outreach. So yes, you need to cut LinkedIn as one of the steps here in the sequence, but you still can use the other channels. As I said, cold calling. As I said, emailing. Maybe there's a certain channel where, as I said, doctors are maybe in a certain community or whatsoever, where you can reach them as well. So you need to identify where the channels for your audience, and you need to be present there. The example I was showing is just an example which I would say in general touches most of the different industries, because we have 800 million users on LinkedIn. We all use emails, right? And we all have at a certain phone number. So it should usually work for each industry. If LinkedIn is not there, cut it and try to find another channel where your audience is on.
Thank you. For the votes, will sequences be made available for leads? We do 95% of our outreach through leads.
Exactly.
Sorry?
Yeah, this was I was showing. So at the moment, it's only possible from lead status to then convert leads into deals, and then from deals push them into sequences. So if you have, for instance, in your leads inbox a new lead, you need to select them, and then there's a new button at the top coming up, convert them into deals, and then from deals you can push them into sequences. So that's the current way for Pipedrive.
But this is currently, this is actually a good feedback. And as I mentioned, Sequence is a fairly new tool to Pipedrive. So these types of feedbacks, we always share them internally. Okay, so thank you, Adam. Actually, this is good feedback, so I'll be sharing it internally.
And I agree, by the way. I would love to push contacts, leads, both statuses directly into sequences.
Mm-hmm. So I will be sharing this internally, because these webinars are always nice, because there's a lot of good feedback. And maybe I'm just checking the messages. Yeah, deals for sequence for leads will be great. So I'll share this internally. And we have one here from Scott. So far, I have not been excited about the Pipedrive automations. They are buggy and frequently fail. The other issue is that there is nothing that shows me in my deal if a deal is under automation. I am hopeful this solution resolves some of these problems. I hope it did. Sorry, you're having these experiences with our automations. But yeah, David also gave here some alternatives with our sequences tool. So we have Thomas here. How do you create a sequence from lead deals? Can you create it from contacts? So right now, only from the deals, just like we mentioned now. But again, great feedback, and we'll be sharing these messages internally. Okay, Badra?
Yeah.
I think we can show a little bit. Let's see.
And I was sharing here. So you go into your deals tab, and then you select them all, and then you can add them to sequence. So this I was showing before, and then you can select your sequence. So I only have one at the moment. And then you see all the different sequence steps, and then you click on add. And I mean, I added this list already, so that's why I can't add. But it's fairly simple. But again, you need to push them from, if you start with contacts, you need to push them. I mean, from contacts, you think it's in bulk edit possible, but ideally you start with leads. So when you export them, for instance, with Surfe, here, and you select them all, always export them as a lead. And then it comes into your lead inbox. I transferred them now already, because then you can bulk edit and then convert all the leads into deals. And then from deals, as I showed before, you add them here, select them all, and add them to a sequence. That's the current steps you need to go. Add them as leads, convert from leads to deals, and then from deals to sequences. Yeah.
Perfect. Let me check here. Just scrolling because we did have. So this is also related to this little limitation. Why does a lead have to become a deal in order to send the sequence? So yeah, it is a feedback that we are getting now, and it will be shared. Thanks for the insights. Is it possible to automate sequences? Connection requests in LinkedIn, then after a certain period of time, automatically a personalized LinkedIn message, etc. And the manual after, possibly via other providers such as Dripify, Zapier, or SendPost.
Yeah, as said, of course it's possible, but it comes with a risk. So LinkedIn is currently after all automations, meaning they risk you when they see you use an automation, they risk your account, and meaning if you use automations like connection requests, I gave you a few examples, DuckSoup, for instance, you can use it, but you will see probably after a certain volume that your account may be banned, and then it's over. I mean, it's not over. I think you get banned for the first time, and then or you get a yellow card, let's say, and then you can go back again, but you can't use them on a continuous basis. So hence why most of the sequencing tools don't automate it, at least the big ones. Let's take Salesloft, for instance, Outreach, and other ones. So I think Pipedrive is here on the same side to have not your account at risk or getting banned. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. We have 3 minutes left. The next upvote is like this one from Eric. So hi, David and Bruno. I have a great business proposal for you that will make both Surfe and Pipedrive the top players in their respective industries. Nice. So we have messages on our LinkedIn.
Yes.
So yeah, in this case, David is a CEO, but I'm just the webinar specialist. So in this case, I would suggest you to reach out to the CEO of Pipedrive, okay, because he's the most comparable person for this. Marina, does next step of sequencing depend if the previous step is done?
Yes, it depends on that. In Pipedrive, you can also, let me share again my screen. So if we go into the different sequence steps, edit, you can at the moment only stop a sequence when email is replied to. So as I said, the only automation currently we have in sequence are emails, because a cold call, as said, you need to perform a cold call, right? Connection request is not automated. Then when the connection request step is ticked off, then in the same day, for instance, in this example sequence, Pipedrive will automatically send the email. So this is automated, but you can say, as I said, please stop it once the email is replied. And then the automation on the email side stops. But again, then there comes the next step, which needs to be ticked off, the next step, which needs to be ticked off, and so forth and so on. And how you can do that is you go into the feed and you have an overview of all the steps you need to tick off to then basically get to the next step of the sequence. Yeah. And then here, check, mark as done, easy like that. Yeah.
I think this goes in hand with what you were just explaining. So the lead engages me in sequence, the deal in this case, will the sequence be interrupted automatically, or do I need to be sure to interrupt it manually?
Yep. You can toggle it, so it will be then, because it makes no sense, right? When someone asks, yeah, I want to book a meeting with you, and then you send another email 3 days later, hey, we help you in this and that. So no, so you can actually interrupt, stop the sequence if the prospect replied. Yeah.
Okay, and this also answers the question here. So has been addressed in sequence, and can you easily manually stop a deal from continuing the sequence?
Yes. No. What I see now another one of many is stopping when things change. You can see opening each. Ah, um, yeah, as I said, when the only automation is the email, so you can stop. The email can be stopped automatically if you got a reply. Otherwise, all the different steps are manually tick off of tasks basically. So you are in charge, and meaning it's not yet fully automated, so it won't continue beside the email as said.
Exactly. So we are just 1 minute after our time here. Thank you all so much for joining. As you can see here on the bottom left, there is a feedback. Okay, so please rate your experience here. Give us your feedback. Be honest. Okay, and there's also the special offer. Okay, for Pipedrive users. And remember, the recording will be sent to your email with also a link for our webpage with the answers for the questions that were not answered. Okay. And they're asking here if we get the templates, David.
Yes. So what we will do now is we create a PDF because I know I just showed always a few messages. So we will share with you. Actually, I can go through that quickly. We have a Word document, and probably marketing will just, I think, make a nice PDF out of it. But then we share with you all the different kind of sequences, different steps, different templates. We have for cold calling, we have for everything. So yeah, we will get that to you so that you can inject them. We will also share with you the 24 days, different steps, how to implement them into Pipedrive. Maybe Pipedrive can even make that template available from their product. So we need to see. But otherwise, we share you how to build it up. And yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, let's wrap this up. Thank you again so much for attending and participating. Thank you for the questions and all the messages there. The recording will be sent to you and also the rest of the questions. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of the week and stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
See you
nice
next
summer. Bye-bye.
time.